Hello, how are you? Today I've put together a list for you with 10 benefits that happen to your entire body when you stop consuming sugar. Many people already know that cutting out sugar will help you lose weight, will help you have better weight control, but it goes far beyond that. Sugar can be harmful to our bodies, to various organs, and to several systems. It's truly amazing how your body responds so much better when you cut sugar out of your daily routine. You're going to love this list. Stay until the end because you won't want to miss it. If you love tips about nutrition, health, and fitness, you're going to love this channel. Take the opportunity to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I have new videos every day and you're going to love them. So let's start talking more about what actually happens in your body when you stop consuming sugar. Sugar is an ingredient that incredibly we're consuming more and more in our daily lives. It's hidden in many processed foods and our taste for sweetness keeps getting stronger. If you look at a recipe from your grandmother or great-grandmother, the amount of sugar they used in recipes back then was much less than what is used today because our taste buds have become more accustomed and even addicted to that very sweet flavor. So I'm going to tell you what happens throughout your entire body. You'll be surprised because several organs and systems are affected by sugar consumption, and I'll explain what happens when you cut sugar from your diet. Of course, when I tell you to cut out sugar, I'm not saying you have to give up sweet flavors. I have lots of delicious sugar-free dessert recipes, and later I'll give you some alternatives at the end of the video as well. The first benefit you'll notice when you cut sugar from your diet is a reduction in body bloating. Many people feel more bloated, and we often attribute this to sodium because sodium really does cause a lot of bloating. But excess sugar also increases insulin, which in turn makes it harder for your body to excrete excess sodium as well. So it's very common for people who consume a lot of sugar to feel more bloated, have more swelling around the ankles, and especially for women, have more visible cellulite. Because sugar will make you more bloated, and when you cut it out, you can improve this. I even have a playlist here on the channel with recipes to help reduce bloating, with lots of tasty alternatives like juices, smoothies, teas, and I'll leave the link down below in the description for you. Another benefit will be the reduction of inflammation in your body, that low-grade inflammation, that constant inflammation that many people experience on a daily basis. I even have videos here on the channel talking more about the symptoms of a more inflamed body. Because a more inflamed body is more prone to health problems and also has a harder time losing weight. So, if you're curious to know whether you are inflamed or not and what the main signs and symptoms are, I'll leave those videos down below in the description for you. Sugar increases inflammation. Some studies have already verified this by actually measuring people's blood and found that when they consume a lot of sugar, the body's inflammation markers go up. So, cutting out sugar can reduce inflammation in your body, making it easier for you to stay healthy and lose weight. Excess sugar can also be very harmful to your skin. So when you cut out this excess sugar, your skin improves a lot. This is especially true for people who have eczema, dermatitis, or any kind of existing skin condition, because sugar, being pro-inflammatory, makes these problems worse and can cause them to flare up even more. In addition, sugar triggers a process that degrades collagen and elastin, compromising your skin's firmness and tone, weakening its elasticity and contributing to the formation of wrinkles and fine lines. So, people who consume a lot of sugar usually have more wrinkled, saggy, and loose skin. And cutting out sugar can do wonders for your skin. I have a playlist here with tips and recipes for your skin, and I'll leave it down below in the description for you as well. Eliminating sugar will also greatly help your digestion process and significantly improve your intestinal function. That's because sugar ferments in the intestine, causing you to have more gas. It's actually a great food source for the bad bacteria in your gut, and it hinders the growth of beneficial bacteria, probiotics, and good yeasts. So, when you cut out sugar, you greatly improve your gut flora. In fact, this is one of the first recommendations for people with irritable bowel syndrome. I have a video talking more about this, and I'll leave it in the description for you. When you consume less sugar, you'll feel less hungry, but it's real hunger, even for regular meals, not just cravings. That's because the more sugar you eat, the more ghrelin, the hunger hormone, you produce. So, you'll consequently produce fewer satiety hormones and more of the hunger hormone, and this actually creates a constant hormonal imbalance that makes you feel hungrier as a result. In addition, consuming excessive amounts of sugar leads your body to release large amounts of insulin, causing much of the carbohydrate you eat to be stored as glucose in an effort to keep your blood sugar levels stable and balanced. Since this insulin will cause you to have a lower postprandial plasma level due to this fluctuation of high glucose, insulin, and then low glucose, when your glucose drops too quickly, it also makes you hungrier. So, not consuming sugar will make you have fewer of these fluctuations, your glucose will be more like a plateau, and with that, you'll also have better control over your hunger. I even have some really interesting recipes here to help reduce hunger and keep you feeling full longer, like soups, smoothies, salads. I'll leave them down below in the description for you. Cutting out sugar will also greatly help your focus, concentration, and memory. That's because too much sugar makes you feel sleepier. It actually reduces the secretion of a substance that keeps us more awake, so you end up feeling more lethargic and drowsy. There are already studies showing that you have more trouble concentrating and become more restless when you consume sugar. You have more difficulty recalling the memories you need, accessing the information you need, and it really becomes harder to stay focused and concentrated. By cutting out sugar, all of this will improve. Exactly at the moment you consume sugar, you might experience a burst of energy, making it even harder to concentrate. But soon after, as I mentioned, there's that hormonal fluctuation. Your energy drops. You feel more tired, more sluggish, and even sleepier. Have you ever noticed this happening when you eat sweets? Another benefit will be the improvement of your liver. Many people, when they think about the liver, when they think about fatty liver, they think of fat. They think they need to control the amount of fat they eat so their liver doesn't become fatty. Of course, bad fats do worsen inflammation in your liver, but the main ingredient that aggravates liver inflammation and increases the amount of fat deposited there, the one that causes the liver to become fatty and develop hepatic steatosis, is sugar and fructose. In other words, sugar, in a broader sense, by increasing insulin secretion and the accumulation of fat in the abdominal, central, and visceral regions, promotes fat buildup in the liver, which in turn encourages inflammation throughout the body and also worsens liver function. So if you want to improve your liver, cutting out sugar is one of the first things you need to do. Another thing you will also notice precisely is an improvement in your triglyceride levels. That's because when you consume a lot of sugar, you decrease the amount of HDL, which is the good cholesterol, and increase the production of triglycerides in your body. Triglycerides are a type of fat that your liver produces and that circulates in your blood, and they are related to the amount of carbohydrates and simple sugars you consume. So if your triglycerides are high, this could be a sign of excessive consumption of bread, pasta, white flour, too much sugar, because bread, pasta, and white flour are broken down and end up behaving like sugar in our bloodstream. It's important to talk about this as well. But in any case, just cutting out simple sugars will also greatly improve your triglyceride levels. I have many videos here on the channel talking more about fatty liver, better nutrition, teas, how to lower cholesterol, how to lower triglycerides, and I'll leave all of that down below in the description for you. Besides that, when you stop consuming sugar, you reduce the risk of certain diseases such as type 2 diabetes and even dementia. Type 2 diabetes is indeed related to high sugar intake and high carbohydrate intake for some people due to these hormonal variations that occur. And dementia has also already been linked to high sugar consumption. Some studies have confirmed this. So, maintaining a more balanced, healthier diet will always be better for your health. A wonderful diet for you to follow in your daily life is the Mediterranean diet. I have a video here talking more about it. It's a very balanced diet, and it's not necessarily just for those who want to lose weight, but rather for those who want to be healthier. Of course, you'll also lose weight because you'll be cutting out a lot of processed foods, excess sugar, and so on. So I'll leave that video for you here down in the description if you're interested. Besides that, other diseases are also linked to excessive sugar consumption, such as cardiovascular diseases and obesity itself, which is a health condition we should avoid precisely because of its negative impact on our health and our bodies. So I'll leave these videos talking more about this down below in the description. Let me know down below which of these benefits surprised you the most, which one you didn't know was related to sugar consumption. I'd love to see your comment. Give the video a like, it really helps me out, and share it with anyone who will enjoy it and with those who need it. Let's work together to spread this positive movement, because that's what I want here on the channel. See you next time. Bye.